through their terrorist activities, gave golden opportunity to the Western media to deliberately portray this great concept of jihad in a very poor light. Those who have misinterpreted the teachings of Islam and resort to terrorism are bound to answer many questions. Through your terrorist activities, how much innocent blood has been shed? How many innocent men, women and children have been killed? How many young children have been orphaned? How many women have been widowed? How many parents have lost their dear children? How many people have become crippled? How many have been rendered homeless? How many have become jobless? How many people's dreams and hopes have been shattered? If you are not ready to answer these questions in this world, you will definitely be held accountable for these actions before Allah. Are you not afraid to meet Allah with a track record of your dreadful deeds? Are you not afraid to meet Allah with the weight of thousands of mutilated corpses hanging from your neck? Are you not afraid to meet Allah swimming in the blood of innocent men, women and children? Are you not afraid to meet Allah bathing in the tears of parents who lost their dear children, of the widows who were destined to terrible hardships? Are you not afraid to meet Allah, hearing the echoes of the screams of orphans who had been deprived of the love and care of parents? When those victims of your atrocities point their accusing fingers at you, do you think that the Quran will stand as a witness in your favor? If you believe so, you utterly are mistaken. The verses of the Quran which convey unambiguous messages against extremism, violence and atrocities will be the strongest and irrefutable evidence against you. When the sufferers of your cruelties point their accusing fingers at you before Allah, if you think that the Prophet will come to your support, then you're totally mistaken. The sayings of the Prophet like, La yarhamullahu man la yarhamun nasa. Allah will not show mercy to those persons who do not show mercy to others. And irhamu man fil arli, yarhamukum man fis sama. Show mercy to those on earth, and Allah will show mercy to you. And similar other sayings of the Messenger of Allah will be strong evidence against you. Because there is no mercy in killing innocent persons. There is no compassion in creating orphans. There is no kindness in depriving parents of their children. And there is no humanity in turning women into widows. What religious authority does the so-called leaders and organizations have to persuade and purchase young Muslims to become human bombs and explode themselves in the middle of a crowd of innocent people? How could they forget verse 29 in chapter 4 of the Quran, which says, وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. You should not kill yourself. How could they overlook the words of the Prophet about a particular person who fought gallantly on the side of Muslims, and when he was wounded and could not endure the pain, he plunged his sword into his belly and killed himself? The Prophet said that because he killed himself, he has lost the paradise and will have to suffer the hellfire. How could you fail to notice the serious warnings of the Prophet that the person who leaps from a mountain and kills himself will be in hell, and there he will be constantly leaping from heights and eternally suffering the torment of falling from the great height? That the person who commits suicide by consuming poison will have to suffer the ordeal of consuming poison incessantly. The person who kills himself by thrusting sharp weapons will have to endlessly suffer the agony of thrusting weapons into his body. How could you suppress these serious warnings of the Quran and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and lead people to the terrible fate of constantly exploring themselves? Those who have muddled the minds of Muslims with extremist thoughts and brainwashed and seasoned young Muslims to act against humanity will have to answer before Allah for these actions and for suppressing these serious warnings of the Quran and the Prophet in these regards. Now, what has these people gained by way of fomenting terrorism? Apart from the fact that the vast majority of the victims are Muslims, these activities have also given the enemies of Islam golden opportunity to attack, torture, kill, rape, humiliate, plunder and imprison Muslims without trial. The flow of zakat and zadaqah from oil-rich nations to other parts of the world in order to help the orphans and the impoverished, as well as to construct masjids, have been greatly disrupted, alleging that the money is used for funding terrorist activities. Visas have been denied to Muslim students applying for admissions in American and European universities, thus shattering the dreams of thousands of young Muslims to build up good careers. All the hard work done by many Muslims to project Islam to the West has been seriously affected by these terrorist activities. For all these serious consequences, you are bound to answer to Allah. These people have conveniently concealed the fact that the right granted by the Quran to Muslims to use force is only for defense and not for offense.